nor saying that this won't be part of our future, as was part of our monetary past for 5,000 years, but agreeing von Hayek that burgeoning Bitcoin, maybe years ahead, could even surpass it, and econo upheavaling, how we transacto together without Guvo enlarging themselves with our everyday economic of freedom, whilst better best left to us, than too much Guvo assuming knowing better.
Transcending glassware through someone Sartosa gifting everyone except Central Guvo with fabulous Bitcoin. Awaiting a mass adopted in rolling ball bearings for a new economical liberty worthy held onto, then diabolica debased away. Fabulo thwarting Afrikansian, Asian, Eurasian Guvo gizmos and US as well. Enjoying no longer Inflatico Rob being so last century, but not too late for this one. Empowering super shiny generations ahead in fairer futures, that all of you amassing screwdriving sockets can help forth by buying and beloving Bitcoin that someday your children will take for granted. Or then again, maybe the future is already here, being just super simply not evenly crypto distributed among us as of yet to be truly shared out by all but soon enough, surely Shep.
Housey banker bustery, endangering everyone, nor saying, after what's gone on, would never happen again, except for sure, if did, would never have gotten as bad as this. For pray who, low-rated printo-presters boomy busted, thanking so bankery, appeasing Guvo politiques, all in, gungling kino glassware. But under Bitcoin, would have curbed their printer press, no longer megaling your money, and future on.
Awaiting Bitcoin, taken up a mass, and then corporate balance sheeted, and then Third World Centro adopted, and then Western Centros. Ultimo finishing off with the Fed being the very last, having to finish off by no longer using dollars that they print and press destroyed themselves with.
During this crisis, ask a flocks. Ask yourself, who exactly is getting punished? Is it the bailed out bankers, and more so centro bankery, having printo cause the crisis, to now acting as our saviors by printo pressing even more? Of course, as taxpayers having to fund these bailouts, we all know who is and who is not getting punished, as my question doesn't need an answer. And if it does, it may be, just maybe, better answered by a Bitcoin future, answering nigh on solving our insanity, being no longer able to repeat it.
Money being one half of every transaction, mega whirling civilizations rising and falling, through how worthy their coinage be, and shown right now, sorely, awaiting made better by Bitcoin.
History having shown that those who can print money will always do so until we find a way from, by now, buying big into Bitcoin.
Not market deemed, but fiat decreeing us no choice in our printo-debased money, whilst banged up imprisoned if we did, having only one counterfeiter, going to jail. You know, where's the equality in that?
We, everyday fiat fated benighted, in rules regular and ultimo gunpoint or jailed up, while Bitcoin never will, in winning consent by those merely wishing freely using it, above those who cannot abuse it.
Fiat money, Mechamele pyramid schema, enriching nearest screwdrivers, for super screwing everyone else down the line.
You know, after degolded, a drop more of ink is all that's needed, for printo indebting worldwide entirety.
Virus innumerous, striven strength through numbers, Ensuing Bitcoin one day Revo replacing fiat standard. Mega merely. Unstoppable matter of time. Free marketed Luxo, looming impending, its inevitability.
Within fiat world, money's inflated away, impelling every day, everywhere spendos now. Then debase or bother saving for future planning ado, made forever shortened atop uncertain, whilst lengthened, through enjoying more certainty, via non-debasable Bitcoin, thus handing back everyone's future, now worthy planning for.
Bitcoin, benefiting society at large, rather than the few.
Own your own future by owning Bitcoin. Unlike now, having no say in destroying our worth for what we've worked for, or our future, for what we've planned for. All in, by having no choice in our money, but with Bitcoin we can. Compelling Guvos compete to be trusted again. Finally held to account.
If they can printo press bankery into losing not $1, then why not printo press pay off my mortgage? Or taxes? You know. What about us?
Worry not, for what Kino FDR or Nixo did to gold could not happen with Bitcoin.
Every state that blocks it incentivizes. Hastio hastens its take-up.
If you can corrupt money at others' expense, history says you will. Hence, needing Bitcoin.
Over time, everything will be priced in Bitcoin.
Having to trust the bank to give us our money. Having to trust Guvo Politica's central bankery to not entirely printo de beso inflate it away, along with our econo futures, or even still having to trust Guvo to not confiscate your gold, except now, for the first time, decentralized Bitcoin, removing the problem of trust, and having no central aegis to put your trust in, no longer beholden to any third party, whilst now be between you and your fellow transactor, handshaking verified via centralist nebula, that merely trusted works without ever asking for it, despite being willingly chained up in blockchain. Unlike fiat monetary, Guvo bankery rules and regulo, requiring your trust, then verifies, while Bitcoin merely verifies.
As in the wondrous Wizard of Oz, from cradle to grave, we're top down told to pay no attention to the screwdriver behind the curtain. Clever boffin pulling the levers for our super supposed everyday econo benefit. But now we can transact to enjoy our own econo wizardry beyond manipulation, censor, borders, and excessive moralizers. Thanks to Bitcoin, pulling back his curtain, exposing his magic made visible contrick for us all to see, that we now no longer have to buy into when we can now buy into Bitcoin instead.
Aha, bring it on.
Hypo-Bitcoinization. Luxo lauding Bitcoin. Impelling monetarily serving us than vice versa. Above enslaved when above glassware.
Bitcoin is the mega most superior monetary technology ever to exist. Revving waiting for change, changing the world for the better.
Empowering everyday Afrikanser. Leapfrogging banks. No longer need building or even needy bank accounts. And bypassing hyper-kleptos, but Bitcoining enriching all else. Enthralling fabulo future.
Introducing worldwide first global monetary network.
Within assets, the ever wealthy remain so, alas,
unafforded by the poor and the young, but now, evened up by Bitcoin, made worthy saving up for, a far-flung, a far-back fluorobottery, super-sounded, uppy upward enterprising money, buildy-bobbing architecture, and therein painterly even more beauty. And now cometh Bitcoin, revving Renaissance anew 2.0, unleashing humo mechano econo freedom, go-getting greatness, enriching entirety.
My heady stuff, crowd pulling, confro cheerleading, hypo talkafloxing Bitcoin sky high as if already replaced almighty dollars with world anew.
Yes, Wizzo Bang Bitcoin is worthy banging on about, as we headlong hypo do.
But hypo hyping what's merely no more than digito digits. Compiling coding made of zeros and ones, after flipping houses, so now this that we cannot even see nor sketchy heady understanding. So, how goes it?
Entirely digital cryptocurrency, unstoppable transacto peer to peer beyond borders or any Guvo centro manipuloides. Wino winningly decentralized for awaiting a mass adopted forciflopping Guvo's regolding, or better still, Revo replacing Guvo printo press fiat standard with Wizzo Bang Bitcoin standard, thus ending from 20th century centro bankery boomy busty bungling. Stupidico starting since Worldy War I by Kino Sherry Glass gifting Bank of Inglico, then Depresso FDR to Ultimo Nixo. Day Golding bred a woody that its creator Kino got bored of to then on Glassword Centro Arthur Burno for printo pressing Nixo elected. Ultimo anchoring worldy wide monetarily entirety into centro stupidity. Inflatico thieving, everyday wealth indenturing indebted into slavery. No longer robbed by gunpoint or taxation, angering voters, risking pushback as all Guvos had to do was printo more money. Without anyone noticing if low inflated when the money amounts stay the same, but the value goes down $1 remaining $1, but bio buys less with than what you had before yearly purloining your purchasing power economica armless robbed beneath gunpoint.
Okay, so all done via sneaky, stealthy Guvos via inflation.
Yes, from 20th on Bigo, biggest contrick and wealth redistribution in human mechanical history, fiat decreed, top-downing, keystroking, printo pressing money. Upping assets, whether stocks, whatever, enriching those that have them against poorer, lower savers that having no choice but quicker debased. Away from everyday housey buying outright in 5 years during 50s, alas. Nowadays, 30-year indebted, expedenting household debt, college tuition, etc. Further waylaid, weighed down, thanks via buried under mega, more mushrooming complexical rules, regulos lawyers, bureaucratos. Enlarging Guvo, but indebting a mass for escalating spendo consuma gungling than inflatico eroded if stupidico saved.
Okay, I see. Sounding similar, agreeing von Hayek as you are.
Yes, and from 71 upper-class income enriched, whilst lower to mid-state put. Modcon modern-day debt enslaved under Guvo Centro M1 printo pressing inequality that ironico leftward politicas always ignore than dare fixico through regolding. As striven, struck now awaits, or even finer years ahead, through dollar-adopting Bitcoin standard, cybo crypto, yet fabulo forging money even harder than gold.
Now, pray tell for why the helly well should anyone buy Bitcoin? For surely a jumped-up cluster of cybo-coded digits living lounging around in computers. For how exactly can Bitcoin be better than resuming regolding our dollars? As like we once had.
Well, that is because...
No. It's actually because Safeo, Boyopadiwack, John Zavali, Miko Sela, and the rest of Austro-Bitcoiners headbanging happened to be utterly raving mad. If they actually think he poo envisage Bitcoin's gonna amount anything other than digito speculo, eventually crasho flopping cyber worthless absurdity.
Okay, Pedro, if we could just, before we go to you.
Having Safeo Ammo at L having hijacked von Hayek into third Revo, entertaining his cybo crypto absurdity. After no longer growing lemons, he goes off in a huff instead to grow tulips written up like Patiwack book. Prophesizing, ponder, pooing, blather, blogging, Bitcoin's gonna somehow monetarily take over the world. While surely, first off, pronto regal dollars, then diabolica distracted by a bunch of...
Pedro, if you could just, for now, wait on for your turn for having your say.
Yes, okay as that I have. Having much to say.
So, pleaser, Sappho, you were saying...
Yes, thank you, and might I say, for reminding Pedro that I've never grown a lemon in my life, nor a tulip for that matter, but my good self atop prophetic others can grow forth cultivating Bitcoin for healthy whelpy nurturing its take-up.
Or in other words, into a Ponzi scheme.
Pedro Parr, please, you'll have your turn.
Yes, you see Pedro's eyrie boggled, hopping angry because Bitcoin has yet to flop and would even be at better's regolding as Bitcoin is even harder as a currency.
Okay, now what do you mean by hardness if I cannot even pick it up?
You see, money, what becomes taken up as money is a turbo, tussle, time-honored scrummage contestico contest to be the hardest currency. Throughout time, we always seek out the hardest money that retains value above using softer, easy money that can be inflatico debased, losa-flopping our wealth over time, such as our fiat paper money that can be printed more of by Centro Guvo, unlike if the value of money is linked to the value of gold that Guvo cannot so easy poo, make more of thus retaining value worthy having as money. But even beating gold thanks to Bitcoin mine preset for topping out at 21 million mayhap becoming worldwide fabulo first non-discretionary, inelastic, non-inflationary area monetary system in humo mechanica economico history, whereby the effort you agreed to put in equates to what you get out indeed earned being a far more worthy saved for investico planning, future made more certain than fiat fated having to spendo cash it in before inflated away. As the best money, the hardest thing to be chosen as money is that resists to being easy made, more of a like time-honored, dug-up golden scarcity, or even better still, Bitcoin.
Okay, but why Bitcoin than other up-and-coming crypto coins? For why not choose Etho, Zucker coin, Illinois, or even his new Marzipan Plus coin? No doubt for first adoption if he ever gets to Mars. You know, is Pedro right that you are completely raving bonkers?
No, listen, after being inspired through reading, indeed answering Salerno-Gonk von Miso on von Hayekian theory. And rest assured, my Bitcoin book is only concerned with Revo revolutionizing the monetary system here on planet Earth. You know, unlike Elono Musco, our macro is not multiplanetary as we Austro-Bitcoiners are firmly rooted for staying put right here to fixico things than fly away.
Yeah, and myself, upon finding Bitcoin escaping from Canadasia, was enough for me.
Okay, so all of you are, just...
Exactly a bunch of blithering idiots. Cheerleading, ever more blundering into Bitcoin, that's what they're doing. Hyping speculo bigo, blowing their own bubble. Nor even needy Sanko Bernanke when we've now got them. You know, we've had .com doorknobs then flipping houses, so we don't need Ostros made absurd. By third Revo hyping what we cannot see nor buy hardly anything with, and if it does taking half a day to buy a lemon cake or a cup of coffee, and in transacto fees costafloxing 10 times more than the coffee itself having already gone cold.
Listen myself, among others, having never said Bitcoin's revving ready right now for replacing dollars, nor did Hayek, but Mega merely thinky-pooing possibilities impelling ought included along with third Revo proposing regolding and free banking.
No. It was never hammered out after headbanging agreed between us. Von Hayek, Rockerwell, Woodywhirly, Stocky Bogglewell, Sailor No Gunk, Paulo Bot, blah blah, plus Walter blah, that we should in any way have ever added in Bitcoin bonkery. Sailor Boyopadiwack being right now, as they are without even hearing you, as you are revving already ridiculous. After Sternico Frankel, then Smashy, Glassy, Lafen Bob fiasco, to now at least right now we've set back Keynote. Who for sure, after hearing you dreamy droning on banging on about Bitcoin, is gonna slammo deride us as uber utter idiots. As Uber surely right now, the only viable third Revo option is agreed is first off Regold, then free up banking. And then consider Bitcoin if it takes off, but not right now.
No, Pedro, all of us, including you, for instead of pooing me, should thinky poo ahead for envisaging anew.
Oh, here we go.
Especially you, being a far too blinkered, beloving, golden, orgasmicating than dare ever think afresh to improve upon it after 5,000 years.
Yeah, re-golding, then free banking, then Bitcoin as the last option if in 30 years' time I be proved wrong that Bitcoin's viable. You are like all Bitcoiners' crypto clunkery. Enthusing, luxing, talky-floxing Bitcoin upward as if awaiting adopted tomorrow for usurping everyday dollars. Whilst Uber surely can only be regolded viable right now and then via Silgini-wide decentralized bankery, freed up for setting rates, reserve, etc. without centros. For after all, we've street corner gone through to now on the verge of being third Revo heard about than having us revote tarpery, as that is what Kino will sure enough do when he no doubt returns. But this time with glassware surely awaiting Congressa, who afar ought viable vote through a golding than get distracted by a Panglossian Ostroglump of Bitcoin nutjob. Dumpo jumping in with Digito delusional paradigms about debt-free, inflation-free without going through central bankery when being able to buy a lemon cake in mere 30 years' time.
Listen, Pedro, as ever, you're the life and soul of the party, but we hereon are trying to be serious for ultimo screwing down solutions, verily for vanquishing Kino monetarily forever. For you and your regolding can be put back, but a far too glassy easy via Kino can be taken off again as on and off alike before, whilst Bitcoin unregulo, untouchable, unconfiscatable, unstoppable heading headlong years ahead for forcy-flopping Guvo adopting its standard as, in due time, the Guvo will have no choice when we're making our choice in what we use as money.
But going back to answer my question, for why should we choose Bitcoin than other cryptocurrencies?
Yes, after Bitcoin, Etho, Elono, Linko, Beep, plus blah blah having risen forth. But unlike Bitcoin, they have fallible founding fathers who can reset their protocols into cybershams. Ergo, Etho, after being hacked its founding coiners, rescinded what was stolen, yet backdoor laying bare Etho's impurity quasi-central controllable cyberclunk corruptible contric, but may have intriguing other uses except no longer as money. Unlike Bitcoin, pure-driven, decentralized, untouchable, coded, unchangeable, remaining pure enough for beta defeating corpo guvo centro hijackers to their own centro or anyone else's grasping agenda, being exactly why it enthralls me, as should more other Ostros, in at least agreeing, unlike other cryptos, Bitcoins, no Ponzi having no owners but users or attempt to co-abusers, floppy failing on finding every day getting even more decentralized, harder for even dare try being umpteenth thwarted ultimo, attesting that Bitcoin be the unbreakable future of money, super sounded up. Inimitable, immaculate, inexorable, uncorruptible as Uber, now Predictico, writ up in my Before It All Happened new book awaiting made reality as soon as possible, before Kino glasswares, everyone ruinous worthless.